Well, to preface this, there is a build mode improvement and whatnot on the schedule for updates eventually. So if you're seeing this after May 2025, things probably are different from what's in this vid. It's just I keep seeing the same questions over and over again, and I figure, okay, maybe I can show it in a video easier than trying to type it in words. The other thing is I am not the only one that's been digging into this information and testing things. So, thanks to the other people in the Discord that did the counting for me. My former vid, I went with 9 steps on the Stepmaster entrance because that's what someone else showed, and I didn't want to just arbitrarily have it not work because I didn't have it, whatever. Things are kind of awkward. It's not a polished thing to begin with. It is absolutely a work in progress. And when you're fussing with things on one side of the house, things on the other side change sometimes. So it's more like glitching things together to work right now. And with a lot of practice, which over time, because you're going into the build mode constantly during the game to move things around and add furniture and whatnot, it will become somewhat more intuitive to you about the right click to pan kind of thing, and left click to do stuff. So I figured the game would work, right? This is a first. Do I have something else running in the background it doesn't like? Maybe, I don't know. Ah, there you are. So, I've had a little bit of experience fussing with stairs because of this thing. And I think we'll get into some of that maybe. That was a move to a different lot because it was right next to the subway station instead of the other lot that you have to cross a couple of streets to get home, and that would cause it to be about an hour in game. So, I'm looking at my character being hungry and needing to go to the bathroom, and there's still an hour to go in game. It goes a little faster than that in real life, but you're looking at the clock in game and you're thinking, wow, it's taking forever for the lights to turn green and whatnot. So, there's the thing I stumbled across when I first went to build a house is I know in the real world, if you build it level with the ground, whenever it rains, the rain will probably just kind of just flow into your house. So you don't want that. You want the floor raised up a little bit. So I didn't just put walls down at first. I started with a platform. And that was my very first mistake. Because I discovered rapidly, if we look at this, I discovered rapidly that you can't put steps on anything shorter than 4 steps up. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps up, and that's why the steps are there. I lost my train of thought there for a half second. Yeah, the inZOI can't walk up that. So I'm going to delete all of this and we're going to start from scratch. So we have these things here called platforms. And I'm not I'm not wasting my time putting down one of these, because this is like basically the dirt, and the lots in the game already have that, you know, grass or dirt. So we have one of these. And the mistake I did was I put it down and then I raised it one. And now I got a brick face around the outside. So at this point, if I zoom in, you know, and as soon as you declick, it goes away, and then you can't change this ever again. You can only change this. And you see that green line? That's going to be important later on. So that right there is 2 steps up. Zoe can't walk up that. Let's go ahead and put a couple more down. So I'm going to do a little bit of experiment. Okay, so the other thing is when you try to get these to merge together to be like you're going to make steps so the Zoe can walk from this one up to this one, it won't let you do that. It will only let you do a distance in between those. Let's put another one over here. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Let's bring that up. Okay, so that's 3 steps. Let's add another one. I'm just gonna go ahead and go 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna look at something here. Alright. Zoom out with the scroll. Go forward with the left click, and then you can right click and tilt down, and then you can see this. You can see a little bit of a texture thing here. There's a barely visible line right there, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so maybe that's 5. Or the other one, I was actually able to see. Alright, so maybe that doesn't work for counting it. Alright, I guess you just have to know. So, the issue is when you go to put steps on this, it won't even, yeah, it won't even, there you go. Yeah, it won't even turn color and go on those. Oh, maybe? Oh. Okay, that's interesting to know. Okay, yeah, it's ignoring that one and going up to the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I actually want to show something slightly different because someone was getting confused and they had done something. Yeah, we're going to put that there. And then they were asking how to expand this. Well, this is where we get to the glitching to make things work. What they had done, they'd gone like that, and then they had made a box out here. I think that's in line. And it's making the thing there to look like it's on a platform. but the floor inside is not at the same height. That's right. Zoom out, go forward. Maybe we don't have to be that far zoomed out, but I'm going to get right down on that, and then I'm going to move into this. Yeah, that's not the same height. I mean, it's difficult to get the camera to just sit there, right? But... and then... yeah. Now, if I select this... yeah, I can kind of see that blue line there, and I can kind of see this. So I can see where that is and get it to be at the same level. And then there's no OK button, and then I can probably add a door to that. And I'm just going to put a door frame so we can see through it. Yep. So if we add another room... yeah, these are half height. Those are regular walls. So I'm just going to go... I think that's it. Again, experience, eventually you kind of get an idea of, from looking at odd angles, where the row is. Yeah, I don't think that floor is at the same height. See if we can put a door in that. It may or may not let us. Yeah, that's not at the same height. But that might be one tick down and okay. Now, what I was originally thinking when I described put some walls around and then just expand the walls out. I'm going to go ahead and use this one here. So you have the steps on one side. And what worked for me after, you know, I clicked that, and I clicked the arrow, and I said, okay, let's move this wall out, because I needed it a little bit wider for the stairs to go. And the floor went away. If I click that, it's a little more tedious, but there's still a floor there, and then I can go in here and delete this wall and make the room bigger. So we go like that, I can't see where that is, but actually, let's go ahead and say 1, 2, 3, 4 squares for the hall plus the wall itself. Go there. Press escape to end that. Now I'm going to click that. I'm going to click that, and let's see what happens when I... Alright, it's not going to... Alright, it's not going to give me a wall there, is it? Kind of interesting that these are not the same height, but... that's the kind of thing I was thinking of when... I was saying, just expand it out. So, do that again. Give me a little section here. Now, the issue with this is you gotta place the wall some arbitrary location. And then it glitched out. If I could enclose that, would it be different? Let's say we have a railing there. And then this goes down here. Click this, we'll expand it out. We have a floor. Yay. So, yeah. The problem with this is you gotta know where you're putting the walls before you put furniture in the room. And I'm still at the stage where I'm trying to figure out how big the room needs to be for the furniture going in there and how I want to lay it out kind of stuff. So this doesn't even work for me. What I've been doing is I've been just basically... Alright, there's the outside of my house, something like that. I looked out on that. And you see the floor just magically appeared. Now if I put a door in that... It's not quite at ground level, but it's close enough that inZOI can walk in. And then from here, I can kind of just do whatever I need to do. I'm going to yeet all of this. Because I think I described enough of how to expand the walls out and showed a little bit of the glitchiness of... when you move walls or whatnot, sometimes the floors go away. And the ceiling is kind of the same way. I don't know if I can... Yeah. You have to get into the room and look up in order to see the ceiling. There's another video where I fuss with that a little bit, and then I fussed with it more after. Yeah, I'm making a very big one because... And I didn't get that perfect, but... There we go. So... What I had was I had... something like that. And then... I went like that. So now I've got a thing going around here. And then when I started deleting these walls, actually, what I did first was I went up a layer. And we've got that. I yeeted that. So I could see that where that was, and then I had a railing around that. And the ceiling came back. Let's make the ceiling go away again, right? Yeah. Now there's an arbitrary ceiling above this. Now, I want to open that up down there. Because that's just a balcony. Let me zoom in here and... Yeah, I want to delete that wall. Originally, I had that 4 squares, which is like 1 meter wide, so it was like a 1 meter balcony around the entire perimeter of the room. Now that graph paper went away. Your graph paper there. So the ceiling went away. I'm now looking at the floor up there. One more wall over there. Go ahead and eat that. And then it came back. So it's like the ceiling like vanishes and reappears as you go. Apparently, you can use this tool for select a room. When you select the room, then you can go to that. Create ceiling. And then when you go in there, now you have a ceiling. So that's pretty cool. That's another thing that someone on Discord told me about after I mentioned that the ceiling kind of like appears and vanishes randomly. So yeah, and the problem with that is if there's no ceiling in the room, when you go to put lights in the room, I want to put lights on the ceiling. I want big lights. Yeah, it won't let me. That or it thinks... Yeah, I don't have a wall upstairs. Maybe I should go ahead and put the wall upstairs to show that. I'm going to mess up the dimensions again. Get a little bit closer to see what I'm doing. We'll go there. There. I'm guessing there. Okay. Alright. And we still got the hole in the floor there. So if I go back to lights... Yeah, it doesn't want to, or it'll want to put it on the second floor ceiling. If you try to go down here... I mean, over here there's a ceiling. I can put a light there. But I can't put a light there. So... Ceilings are kind of twitchy about the glitchy stuff. Alright, now, what I discovered is I'm going to put a set of steps there, and I'm going to put something here to mark where it is. Now, let's say... I want to have something in here. I need the walls a little bit taller. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select a room. I can select the outside. I can select just about anywhere for this and change the wall height. Steps poofed it. Let's put the steps back. See if I can line that up. About where I had it. So now the steps are longer. That's pretty much the only way to get the steps to be a different length. And you have to cycle through this to no. Want that. There we go. Now we're back to 3 meter. So I think what it's doing is like 3 meter, 3.9, 4.8, 5.7, then it cycles back. These are just like shorter walls. And they're kind of finicky. It worked there, but when I went around the outside of the other building, you see that little break right there. It wouldn't let me close that up. I had to stop short. And I don't know why. Glitchy. Anyway. No, I don't want to change the color of that. I want that. I want to put the steps back in. The steps have, Yeah, thing off the end here where there's only so much you can do with the space. Other things have collision zones that they won't let you go into. See, as I place this, there's that blue zone to the right of the pillar at the bottom of the steps. You can't have a door overlap that. So if I put that over here, it says it fits. Actually, I can put it right there. It says it fits. But if I try putting a door, and I don't know how many times I've seen a hallway at the bottom or top of the stairs and there's a door just like that. I can't do it. I have to have it 2 squares away. Because the door has a 2 square zone on it. So I have to have this zone here 2 squares away from where a door is. I'll go ahead and put a door there. I mean, even doors on doors sometimes glitch out like that, and they won't let you put them right next to each other. And I think... yeah, there's kind of 2 squares there. So now if I go to put the steps in... I can do it there. Yeah, I have to have it 2 squares away before... It won't go any closer than that. So, I'm going to go ahead and move these steps right back to where my marker is. Is that it? No, I'm 1 off. Okay, so... there's that. Probably count squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so that's 20 steps long. So, what I originally wanted to do in the other house was have another set of stairs right above that. So this area here I could use. And what I instantly discovered is... you can't do that. I mean... these walls are 3 meters, both of them. You have to back it off, and back it off, and back it off. And then eventually it works. Yeah, there. So you can't really stack the stairs. And unfortunately, even here, you know, I had like a little patio over here, so there was no room to move the steps back that way. And downstairs, this was already at the limits of against that wall and the other lot, so... you can't really stack stairs on top of each other like that. Which is kind of awkward, because if you look at this... see if I can glitch through the floor to show it. It's saying the distance from that step and that step to this ceiling is okay, but from that same step up to the bottom of these steps is not okay. So, yeah, it's... the zoning around the steps is kind of weird. So I end up having to put the steps like this. And then I ran into another problem. Because I didn't have it that way, I had it this way. And I'm thinking to myself, well, can I run a railing under here, but have this right next to that? You know, look. There's 1 square space in there, and I was looking at the other side and saying, you know, that's getting kind of tight in the other place, because this was pushed over further because stuff downstairs. So, there's only so close you can get the steps to each other. like that doesn't work. You're required to go like that. So yeah, I don't know. Again, that schedule, things may change a little bit. They may make it so you can stack stairs, like you see in a lot of buildings. Where they're kind of like that. Instead of staggered back a lot. So, with that, I've been recording for 30 minutes, and I think I've gone over most of what I've discovered and read online about working with steps and multiple stories, and hopefully that's helpful to people. It may change in the future. Real quick. Ladders are even worse. Because you see that square, you know, you try to put a bookshelf right next to it, kind of like where that railing is, and it won't let you. It's got this massive square around it where you can't have anything. But funny enough, that square there, it'll let you put it up against a wall. But you can't have a bookshelf next to it, kind of thing. Furthermore, when I was fussing with putting a railing around it upstairs, I'm thinking, okay, I want a railing right there. Tedious work. You know, railing. Now I don't know how wide the thing is. So, I gotta go back down and, okay, where did I put the ladder? You know, so, thankfully I had furniture already in the house. I was able to slide it as close as I could downstairs to where it wouldn't overlap the ladder and I could put the ladder in. And then I was able to do each section of this railing and go back down and put the ladder back in every single time. Yeah. You can have railings around this. It's just a little tedious to get it in there. Glitching it together to work. So with that, I have no intention to save this. And go ahead and drop the house in to show what I was referring to about, you know, I wanted a 6x6 meter dance room. Couch there. Keyboard there. So you can kind of see the TV in front of that. 4 squares, 1 meter, or about approximately 3 feet. That's like the smallest width hallway or passageway you ever want in a house. Plus a square for the wall. Puts the steps there. I can't move the steps that way anymore. Now if I go upstairs, 1, 2, 3, that's minimum. But I've noticed with the ZOIs, if you don't put like one of those pillars right next to this, when they come around the corner, they'll kind of walk up the outside of the steps and then drop down. That's a bit tight. Tighter than I wanted the space to be in there. Plus, I was originally thinking of having like the arcade machine sitting here facing this way, and the basketball court sitting over against this wall. Passageway, and then steps going up there. And that stuff ended up on the roof, because there wasn't room after glitching the steps into function. Yeah, it's a 6x12 dance room with a little bit of room around it for stuff. different things have different sizes that they should be and things like that. Anyway, it was tedious to get this to fit in that one lot in that one place, because that is the limit of the lot right there. Originally I had those pillars there just to mark the corners. The wall's one square in because all of the roofs, they overhang by at least half a square, which puts it out of bounds. The door, that one I moved back, but this one is 1 square further in because if that zone in front of the door, if you have the wall right against the thing, or even one back, that 2 square space overlaps the zone limits. When you put the house down, they'll just vanish. The outside of the windows there, they overhang a little bit. Those also vanish on some of them. So, yeah, pushing things to the limits just to get a 6 by 12 meter dance floor upstairs, and I'm discovering all kinds of interesting little limitations about things overhanging and how far you can be to the edge of the lot for some things. Trying to get an angle on this. There's a little bit of an overhang there with that wood topping to that, which I added after to cap off these pillars. I was worried that little bit of a wood overhang would be out of bounds, but I wasn't too worried about it, because at the end of the day, this was literally just to... I went to the lot, I put those down, and I went ahead and put some walls around. I marked where the ZOI shows up to the lot, which I didn't pause it quick enough. I guess it's over here instead of there in the small lot in Dowen, or Dowen, or D-O-W-O-N, however that's pronounced. But yeah, I marked that stuff out, and then I saved it, and then I brought it into the build manager. And I discovered, I guess when you save houses in the real world, there are random things around the map that show up. That's below. Yeah, it's the front door. So those 2 oblong things, they're over there somewhere under the map. Because when I was in the save thing, looking around, you see that there. They're below the map, over there somewhere, and there's no way for me to click and remove them from the save. So, alright. 38 minutes. I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to say, be cool, y'all.